Manchester City are advanced with the pursuit of Gvardiol to add more depth, more quality to the back line of the treble winners, Manchester City. Plus, we're looking at the situation with Declan Rice, where more bids are expected today. Plus, we're taking a look at James Maddison, who is leading the race for him, and Man United. Have they been rejected by Min-jae for Bayern Munich? Updates from Fabrizio and other journalists on the show as well. Hit the like and the share button. Subscribe to the Football Terrace now. Make sure you're following our TikTok exclusive content over there every single day. We know how much you love the Terrace. So get over there now. Let's do this. City have had the season of all seasons. They've become immortals in football. Only the second team in English football history to complete a treble. One of the greatest achievements ever by a European team. Only 8 clubs have ever done it. But the brilliance of this City team is they do not rest on their laurels. They do not sit on their hands. They do not think with the best will remain the best. They know they have to improve. They know that they have to move people on and sign new talent. It's as simple and as straightforward as that. According to Fabrizio Romano this morning, he understands that Manchester City are advancing on the Gvardiol deal on the player side. Negotiations on personal terms are progressing well, as the same as Kovacic. Leipzig will only sell Gvardiol for a huge fee. Otherwise, they are prepared to keep him for one more season. But let's remember the patterns of the majority of transfers. You agree personal terms first, then you move on to negotiating with the football club. So generally, when you see bids go into clubs, especially the official bids, it means personal terms have already been agreed. Or, as most of the journalists kind of say now to protect themselves, is personal terms will be no problems. But this is just a sign of power. This is a sign of quality. This is a sign of a very well managed football club from top to bottom, inside out. Gvardiol is a highly coveted and rated young defender who is just going to make Man City even better. Laporte may leave. He's likely to, but they're bringing in a player that some may consider to be even better in the long run. This is a message to everybody else in the Premier League. Get your acts together in the transfer window because Manchester City mean absolute business. They mean absolute business that they do. But I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on this deal. How good will he be for Man City? And what do other teams have to now do in response to this? Now, we'll come back to Fabrizio Romano in a moment. There's a story today that I wanted to delve into from Bert and Dean from the Telegraph, James Ducker as well. They claim that 2 more clubs are expected to bid for Declan Rice in the next 24 hours after the opening offer from Arsenal was rejected. It's unclear who the clubs that West Ham expect to make an offer are. They say it's unclear, but who do we think it is? Is it Bayern Munich? Not in my opinion. I don't think they have the money, the P's, the readies. They ain't got the B's. They haven't got the money, in my opinion. It's going to be over 100 million. 101 million is going to be the new bid from Arsenal, or is the new bid from Arsenal. 90 million, 91 million plus 10. I don't think Bayern Munich have that, if I'm being absolutely honest with you. Man City are expected to be one of the teams. City Extra have shared this news. They're now said to be interested, according to Ornstein and Fabrizio. Dean Jones, the first journalist that I saw publish this news a month ago, claimed this was the case. Could Man United be involved? He's a player that's long been on their wanted list. Could they be about to submit a bid? Maybe the notion there's no money at the club is not so much a lie, but a way of trying to keep the price of other players down. If you bid 100 million now, though, for Rice, what does that mean for the Mount deal and other players that we're looking to buy? But it reminds me of something that Jamie Jackson said as to why Man United might now get involved. Jamie Jackson told us on the Terrace about 3 to 4 weeks ago that if Man United can't get Harry Kane, the money they would use on him would go into a player like Declan Rice in the midfield area. And if Man United were prepared to pay 80, 90, 100 million for Harry Kane, maybe now that money is available to try to go and get Declan Rice. But Arsenal were still the front runners irrespective. Arsenal, the ex West Ham employee, has been very forthright. I read some pieces from him this morning that they're still the front runners. Personal terms should be no problem. They're the club that are still likely to get him. So let's see whether this news comes to fruition later on today, and we'll keep our eyes firmly fixed on it. Bad news for Man United is this story here from Fabrizio Romano. And by the way, before you go any further, if you haven't done it yet, hit the like button. Please turn on the bell notifications as well. And if you really don't want to miss any more streams from us, follow our notification group chat on Telegraph. There's a link in our description below because we know YouTube doesn't always let you know when we go live and when new videos come out. So make sure you're in that group chat. There's about 15,000 people in there, which is amazing. So just come and join it. It's admin only, so nobody sees your number. Nobody's going to bombard you with any kind of weird messages. It's just a group chat to receive notifications from the Terrace and I. But he states here that Bayern Munich have presented their project to Kim Min-jae this week, and the agreement on personal terms is now close. Kim, tempted by Bayern, as talks are now advancing fast. Man United remain interested, but it was never done. Release clause available in July. And I've seen a lot of Man United fans angry at this. We should have closed this deal off. We should have shut this deal down. Now, maybe we should have paid over the odds. Maybe we should have paid more than Napoli's release clause is set for. The 42 million is what we've read. Maybe Kim has agreed on terms with Man United. I'm not trying to discredit Fabrizio in any way, but other credible journalists have said he has. Doesn't mean he can't agree with two. Doesn't mean he can't say yes to Man United, but state that he will be talking to other clubs. I love what you've offered. Love what you're saying. Love the idea of joining Man United, but I am going to keep my options open for other people and other individuals until the release clause can be activated. Bayern Munich are a powerhouse. They're a giant club. They are in a better position than Manchester United. So am I surprised to see players pick them over us? No, I'm disappointed. But why am I disappointed? This is 10 years of regression biting you in the arse. Now, we had a better season last year, but until the takeover is in place and until we really are a well-established Champions League team again and a team competing for the league title, we're still a gamble to a certain degree for players. We're less of a gamble than going to a Tottenham. We're less of a gamble than clubs like that. But Bayern Munich's, especially if you're not, it depends on where your desire is. If somebody's born and bred and they have a desire to be in the Premier League, then maybe they pick us over Bayern Munich. But if that isn't your overarching desire in life, then it's difficult. So I am gutted if this falls through. The Italian press have been very forthright in Man United agreeing this deal. Bayern Munich look like they've stepped in the 11th hour and maybe taken him away from us. But I want to know how you feel about it, people. Where you expect him to go. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings. And then you have this situation here, James Maddison. Tottenham and Newcastle have been strongly linked with a move for the Leicester playmaker. With the Foxes in the Championship, the England international is expected to leave. Whilst the two can offer Champions League football, it is Spurs who are reportedly leading the race. According to transfer insider Dean Jones, Spurs are in a good position. Now, Dean told us that on the show yesterday. It's now being circulated by a lot more media outlets. A lot more aggregators are pushing this news. There was the story that they bid 50 million for both him and Harvey Barnes, and Spurs have come out very quickly via the media and denied this and said it's not true. We didn't do it. I don't necessarily believe that, and that's not a dig at Tottenham. That's just, maybe there's a little bit of 6 of one and half a dozen of another. Maybe it was slightly more than 50 million, but I still think they bid. I still think they put a bid in or an offer in or an offer via an intermediary, and that Leicester have rejected and said it's far too little for the two players. But James Maddison's a real interesting one because Newcastle a few days ago were reported as the front runners. It's now Tottenham. But how do you see this transfer going? Where do you see him playing next year? And I said this on the top 6 last night. I'm going to reiterate it again and again and again and again. James Maddison, stay away from Tottenham. Yes, it's in London, and that may be seen as a more popular city, more vibrant, fashionable city to live in than Newcastle. Yes, they have the best stadium in the world, but they have no trophy room. They have no ambition as a club. Either this summer or next summer, they're losing their greatest ever player. The owners care more about Beyonce concerts, Formula One tracks, and the NFL than they do winning major trophies in European football. You've spent too long at Leicester. Too long at Leicester. Yes, you won the FA Cup and the Community Shield, but I think you should have pushed your way out of Leicester 2 or 3 years ago. You need to be at a club that is serious about winning. You need to be at a club that has genuine ambition to become the best. And Newcastle are that club. They're in the Champions League, and their ownership and their board are not going to stop at that. That isn't their ceiling as it is with Tottenham. They will continue to grow and push and develop this team until they can win league titles, until they can win the Champions League, until they start winning the League Cups and the FA Cups and challenging for all of them on a regular basis. So, James Maddison, please respect yourself, respect football, and reject Tottenham Hotspur. Listen, everyone who's tuned in today, I want to say a big, big thank you to each and every single one of you. You know how much it means to me. But again, throughout the summer, live updates like recorded updates like this, lots of live shows for you. We ain't going anywhere. Please hit like buttons before you leave. Make sure you've got the bell notifications turned on. And as I've said, go follow us over on TikTok right now. About 11,000 of you doing it currently. But you want to get those numbers up massively. Scan the QR code on the screen or click on the link below. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I will see you all again very soon. Thank you.